And here we are, here we go. This is already the last episode of our Back to Beyond adventure on Rinse France. I'm Monique Destruction, your favorite evil DJ daddy. And today I have the honor to meet with the almighty DJ and producer, the Blessed Madonna is here with us.
Hi, bonjour.
Hello and welcome. Soyez la bienvenue. Hello, Queen, I want to say.
Oh, I'll take it.
With us also to amplify our conversation is DJ, curator and educator Paloma Colombe. Welcome, Paloma.
Bonsoir.
Thank you for joining us.
Merci.
We are gathered today in the amazing Dojo de Paris, transformed for one night only in a beautiful dance floor. I'm very excited to see what it gives.
Yes, we're not going to do any judo.
And it's not happening.
Maybe.
So this format is somehow different from what we already produced alongside I and Bambunu. And both interviews are available on our YouTube channel, our website, and our app. So today, the vibe is giving masterclass as we are joined by a number of students, aspiring DJs. I'll do my best to include you guys in this conversation. Don't hesitate to jump in if you need details and explanation. And maybe, I'll start with a topic that might allow us to understand the importance of education and transmission in our field as DJ and music producers. The Blessed Madonna, Maria. I'm gonna call you Maria.
Please.
Thank you so much. You can call me Monique. That's perfect.
I love that.
From what I heard with I during our previous interview, you embrace your role as a leader, giving advices and direction to younger artists.
She said that?
She even told us about your first meeting. During a dinner, she was very stressed. You took her under your wing, and that built a friendship that lasts ever since then.
That's a very generous description. But I did meet her at a dinner, and I just have been so in love with her our birthdays are a day apart too. When is
that?
I'm October 22nd and she's the 21st.
Scorpio. Okay.
I'm on the cusp.
I'm on your team.
Yeah. So yeah, we have been very good friends since then, and I think we understood each other very quickly, and I love her.
I met her for the interview. I listened to a lot of her sets. She's an amazing DJ. I really advise you to go and explore her sound because it's such a wonderful landscape, so diverse, so eclectic, so precise. She's a genius.
Oh, she is, and she's also an absolute road warrior. Like, when we go on tour together, I will go home and go to bed, and she's like, "Yep, I'm gonna go to 65 lesbian parties. I'll see you in 3 days." And she's got the giant suitcase that's full of all these outfits, and I'm with my, one little thing, and yeah, she's just a monster, and I'm not.
I'm really excited to see her again tonight, and you're opening the party back to back with the High tonight.
Fact.
And so on that note, having in mind what I told us about your first meeting and how she felt guided by you.
She shouldn't have said that.
What? Is it something that you learned, like this approach of the new generation that you learned from the former generation? Do you have some mentors, for example?
Well, I think maybe, I never really thought about it. That's a good question. I think because I had a real lack of that at the time when I started DJing, there really wasn't anybody that like took me seriously, and it's fine. That's true of everybody. Nobody's famous till they are, and then you're like, what happened? But there really were not very many women DJing in the early 90s. I started going to parties in 1992, and half the women that were in England, Chemistry and Storm, and so I taught myself to DJ alone in my college radio station. I had the keys, so I could go in there where there were turntables after hours and just set the playlist to go on its own. And then I would sit in there and practice. But I didn't have that. And we were very much in the age at that time, right around the year 2000, of like the like bikini DJ. Like it was like it was like a thing, and
Bikini DJ meaning like
my
DJ spinning in bikinis.
Yeah, no, it was like a thing, or it was like really a thing. I mean, if you look back at the dance music magazines of that time, it's sort of crazy. And you know, here I come and looking, you know, basically like this, and not interested in that vibe at all. Not that I would ever achieve it, but you know, for me, going like, I want to understand how Derek Carter did that, or when Jeff Mills was doing this, how did he do that? Or Terry Mullen, DJ Hyperactive. You know, I benefited from being very much involved in the Midwest rave scene, but I didn't start DJing till almost 10 years later, or 8. But it was very lonely. I mean, just the learning part, not lonely in a way that was like bad. I had the Confederates of all the sounds that I had heard before, and you know, that's all I'm really made of. But I think maybe what happened with High and other people is that because I did feel that loneliness or like lack of mentorship, I think it's just empathy. It wasn't like I thought, oh, I'm gonna, you know, go rush in here and you know what I mean? Like I never felt that way, but I do know what it's like to be scared in another country. And then when I did finally have mentors that were women or people that looked after me, it was really special. You know, when I got to become friends with Kelly Hand, that was a big deal for me, you know?
Somehow, from what I hear from you, you were the change that you've been waiting for, in the sense that you didn't have any mentors, and so not any model even of mentorship.
Not in real life. I had 1,000 mentors.
Imagine
just none of them knew who I was.
And maybe to reflect on that idea again, is back-to-back, the exercise of back-to-back, one of the most powerful means of education and transmission through joy and freedom, because there is no pre-worked set.
Yeah.
It's a moment, you have to live the moment, understand the dialogue. It's a moment where there is nothing prepared. You have to, it's the moment that counts.
I love going back to back because then you can steal what the other person knows. Like I you know, there's a bunch of them in my mind that I think of where I was like, oh, dang, that's how they do that. I played with Derek Carter back to back in Morocco, and I was like, you know, I mean, he's my friend, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna play back to back with Derek Carter. His birthday is also October 21st. The first time Mike Servito and I went back to back, it was at this, you know, semi-legal party. And we had never talked about it. And we just went in and played for like 7 hours. And it was this like light bulb moment, or actually that when I met Jack Master, we met in a 7-hour set, and we had never spoken to each other. And Jack was, you know, was a wild man, and he was really at like peak wild man phase then. And Tennille will tell you, and she probably did. I know she said this. I could tell you she said this without you telling me, that I kind of boss her around when we're DJing. She got, or like daddy, or she'd be like, she's like, you're just topping me that whole set. And I'm like, yes, like I'm real bossy. But with Jack, I was like, you know, Jack was like partying and stuff. And at one point I go, hey, we're playing here, all right? I'm like, you gonna do anything? Try to keep up, buddy. And he was like, huh.
So you the expectations are higher. You put some expectations on them. You help them too. It's like when something goes on, you can give some help on the decks, but also put a bit of on pressure on what you're playing, what is happening.
Well, let's just be great. Like,
Let's be great.
let's just be great. Like, if we can be great, like, you know, I DJ'd for $50 for 10 years before anybody let me leave the country. Like, I just, like, let's be good at it. I take the shit seriously, and it doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes, but like, be there.
That's my favorite thing with DJing is making mistakes and hearing other DJs making mistakes and finding the way to get back in sync with the previous track, to find their way back in the blend. And you can hear it's not something that's prepared. It's not a whole hour of a track that's being played. It's like something that you're managing at the moment with the sound system that you're giving, with the tools that you're giving, with the crowd.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'll accidentally hit the reverse button on the CDJs, and I'll just real quickly try to like bring it into phase, and then just leave it there. And then I started doing it on purpose. And then I saw that there were other people that did. I mean, it's the CDJ version. And back when everybody had to play records, the way that you did it was you put a roll of duct tape on it, on the turntable, and you flipped the cartridge upside down, and you put the record on top of that so that the cartridge was touching up, and then it would go backwards.
Wow.
That's some real Chicago shit. But also, like a lot of my attitude just about DJing in general comes from, you know, coming from the Midwest. Very small pond, very big fish. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have that many clubs. And you're always going to be compared to, like, Jeff Mills. You know, like, if you go play at Smart Bar, like, there's a 90% chance you're going to have to play after Derek Carter or before it. Like, you know, we just don't have time. You have to be really good. You're like legitimately good. And in a way that I think is different than anywhere else in the world. I love this country. I love Europe. I love England. But no one will ever lay a glove on DJs from the Midwest. Some DJ you never heard of in your life is like breaking boundaries for nothing in a coffee shop, you know, because you got to.
Alors, a lot has been said already. We're going to come back to some topics throughout the interview. You mentioned those 7 hours set. I don't know if you guys imagine what that represents in terms of focus, energy spending, physical exhaustion, but also finding, in French we say, un second souffle, and maybe it's kind of form of endurance in throughout time. And I think it's like, keep those ideas in mind, keep all of the names that Maria gave us already, and I think even on the idea of how do you build a sound and a career, on how some moments are very, very important for you, not only because of publicity and fame, but especially of what we live together, what the party's giving, what is something that you've never seen before and you might never see again in your life, and that you have to enjoy because otherwise it's too late later. I'm not going to contradict you on the fact that maybe some of the best DJs are in the US. I don't know that well the Midwest, but Paloma and I preparing this interview at the common background is that both our love from club culture came from the US, and especially the queer scene in San Francisco, because weirdly both of us studied there at the same university a few years across, and we had the same reference of places, parties, and I think that's opened our eyes to Jersey music, bass music, Montbaton, all of the, I'm going to say it, a black club, a very powerful black club house music that was not available for us in the Parisian scene at all.
For sure. And And all of that music, it comes into the Midwest in really fascinating ways where it doesn't originate there, but you find records that find a second life in the Midwest that are like Baltimore club records, like Hosed in This House. That's a Chicago staple, but it's not.
Baltimore.
Right, it's Baltimore. And then also, like a lot of high energy disco is, if you go to like, so there's a house music picnic in Chicago, and it's once a year, and it's, 50,000 black people. Like it's, I will go. God bless this one lady. We were coming into Europe with my friend Adam, who was like the tallest, whitest guy you ever saw in your life. He's just sticking out like a sore thumb. This lady comes up to him and she goes, "You're number 6." And he goes, "Number 6 what?" "You're the 6th white person I've seen here." But it's the Chosen Few picnic, and it's all love. It's good, and one of the amazing things about going to this thing that is still really untainted by like all of the, I don't want to say tainted, that sounds bad, but like it's just so Chicago. There are records that are Chicago standards that have nothing to do with house music. Like Remember by Gino Socio. I remember, you remember forever,
Yeah.
that song? Okay. So I'm telling you, I had not seen a record level that the Chosen Few picnic like that. Every single person knew every single words. Or like another one is, about Chicago, there's this area that they used to call Record Store Alley. And all in the same area, you have like Gramophone, Smart Bar, Wax Tracks. And so there was a big industrial crossover too. And there are records that are fully, rank and file industrial that are totally canon in Chicago. Jamie Principle is one of my best friends, and the hill I will die on is that Jamie Principle is the first writer of house music. He's the first one. Maybe they came out with him and whoever with Frankie, and there's a lot that goes into how that story evolves. But Jamie wrote those records in his bedroom and recorded them to tape his demos first. But if you know Jamie is just the biggest Depeche Mode fan in the world. And when you go back and you listen, you're like, oh, I totally hear it. He was just this, and Jamie's straight, but he's just this weird, black, straight, new wave fan with, like, we wore black lipstick and go, like he wanted to be in Depeche Mode. And then you get like Waiting for My Angel and Baby Wants to Ride and all those records. But you totally hear it. You hear it. And he's I have to go. He's like, I'm going to go home and listen to Depeche Mode.
Bon, so you understand the blend, the Midwest as a blend of all of those black sounds that come from different areas in the US. We have the bounce in New Orleans, you have ballroom beats on the East Coast, and that made their way to Chicago.
Yeah.
Paloma Colombe, I want to expand this idea of education and pedagogy in our discipline, which is DJing, throughout your workshops with younger kids. Mm-hmm. How did you explore that direction? Why did you make the choice to invest in the new generations?
So I think I always really loved kids in the first place, because they're just so... There's something about kids that really touches me. Something very spontaneous, and so I always have been a fan of kids. And then I became a mother, so 4 years ago, And I was asked to do this workshop with small kids, like from 3 years old, actually. And so that was an amazing opportunity, and I did that, and I really loved it. It was so like sincere from me, but it was just a mess. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying to give something, to share a love, to when they came in, I was actually playing on the decks, and they saw me just playing on the decks, and they discovered DJing like that, and they were dancing, which I really encouraged. And so that was my first experience of teaching, was with kids, actually small kids. And so this lasted for 2 years, and I really loved it so much, and I was like, I really want to go on with that. That was very natural for me to share what I know, and it's just exactly as you said, Maria. It's I lacked so much like this feeling of community and of a mentorship, especially women, of queer people mentorship when I was learning DJing, that being able to share a bit of what I learned, so with a lot of difficulties, very passionately throughout the years, was like I just seized this opportunity to share it. So now I'm doing also workshops and classes for adults as well, and it's just part of my practice now. I just learn so much in this exchange with people. I'm not being like it's been 13 years that I DJ now, but I'm always learning something.
Even when you teach,
always
you have to be
something
on point
new.
with the techniques, so
yeah, exactly, and
brings you back to the basics.
Yeah, sure, and also about humility, and just I'm always learning something new.
I want to keep in mind what you said about very small kids, and I think that reflects a lot of what Bambounou said about his heart and the love for music is about naivety, is about the approach of discovering tracks and discovering music as almost the first time ever again, having open eyes and open hearts to new genre. I think we do that a lot at Rinse too, but new genre, different style of what we used to play, eclecticism. I think it's a very strong point of view to embrace our discipline. And I want to make a bit follow-up question for both of you. You talked about generosity and sharing. Isn't that at the core, very core of our practice? We share music to people. We don't have to keep our records to ourselves. When we find something we love, it takes even more values when we give it to the people we love.
Yes, but there was a period in the Midwest where people would cover.
Yes, but no.
It's different in America.
It's
Like,
different in America. It's
there was a thing where people would cover the label if you had something really good. I did not do that. I personally, I would say even more than sharing, I think music is something that just happens to you. Like, it's not even yours to give away or to share. Even when you make a record, it's just like, it's like it floated out of the sky that day, and you got to be there for it, and it's almost like trying to catch rain in a bucket. And I don't think that it's something that you can't own, so you can't give it away, but you can just be in the same place for it when it happens. And I'm always suspicious of people who talk about inventing things, other than if you made a synthesizer or something like that. But like, most of us are just witnessing, even
means of a vehicle, maybe, something that transport the music but that don't own it.
It's almost like you step onto a train for a little while as long as you get to, and it's such a short time, you know? It's such a short time that you get to do the thing, and it's all very precious, but we don't own it. The ticket expires eventually.
Bon, alors maintenant, I have a new secret dream that expanded me. I really like to be bossed around, and I want you to boss me around at the radio next time to come to Paris.
No problem.
To be, I'll bring all my ballroom tracks, and it's like I really want to be bossed around.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Paloma, today, throughout the journey of the Back to Beyond, the party is happening tonight from 11 to 6 a.m. But you had a workshop, not with kids, with young adults.
Yes.
You had 2 sessions this afternoon.
Yes.
How did that happen? Can you tell us more?
Sure.
Let's go.
Well, it was short because an hour is too short to share. It was 2 times an hour, but it's great. First, we took a moment to meet, and I took a moment to know a little bit more about them, their practices, and their objectives, their goals. Sorry. During that hour, because as I said, an hour is so short. And then we practice. I love to make them practice the more that I can, but today was a little bit more complicated because we didn't have more time. But it was mostly them asking questions and me trying to answer it in the best way possible that I can, and also peer help is also a great way because then I discover new things too. So I don't know, things were super technical at some moments, and at other moments it was more about like, how do you arrange your tracks? How do you that kind of
People
stuff.
need to be able to ask those questions.
Sure, somewhere that to have spaces.
I did a
to do that.
mentorship thing, which I had never done before. And one of the people that I mentored was Jaguar, who's now all over BBC. And I can remember her asking like just real specific questions about CDJs. And she's putting out records and she's all over BBC. And it's just like, I just look at her and I'm so proud. And I'm so glad I didn't tell her anything useful, but like, I just love her so much and I'm so proud of her. And she's going to do everything she wants to do. And people do just need to be able to ask, what the hell does this button do? Like, I mean, really.
It's very expensive material that we don't have to get to
I don't even own CDJs. Like, I had to learn in a club.
Voilà, and so the rare moment that you're being given access is the good moment to ask good questions, useful questions, discover new things. With Rinse, we explored this journey with the Rinse Academy a few years ago. We're giving access to decks to very young kids.
I still don't know how record box works.
You should come to
They keep offering to teach me, and I'm like, but I don't know. I'm sorry, Pioneer, if you want to sponsor me.
Call us, Pioneer. Elle est là, ma cam.
Oh, Pioneer, look at me. I've been doing this for so long, and I want free stuff. Okay. I don't even own CDJs, and you want to teach me how to use record box? Come on.
Call us. Guys, so Paloma told us a very strong statement. An hour is so short. It's already half an hour of interview.
Oh my God.
I'm being truthful.
Mon Dieu.
Is there something that we explore that you want to rebound on? I'm going to bring you on my amazing sofa with us, and you can ask a question to Maria. And if not, I have a lot of questions for her. So
first victim. Don't be shy. It's fine.
Don't be shy. Voilà.
I won't yell.
We're going to expand a bit on the more poetical and theoretical aspect than just techniques. So at one point, I'm offering it to you right now. Maybe in this idea of masterclass, you can just signal yourself to me discreetly at one point, and I'll bring you throughout the conversation, okay? Ouais, come around, please.
Come on over here, baby. Okay.
Alors.
Oh, this is going great already.
What is your name, s'il te plaît?
My name is Quentin. Nice to meet you.
Nice
It's
to
a
meet you,
pleasure.
my love. You are too cute. How old are you? You're 5 years old, aren't you?
I'm 20 years old.
Oh my God.
I'm closer.
My face just fell off and shattered on the ground.
You're closer to 5 years old than to my age.
My God.
Maria, it's a pleasure to meet you. I was wondering, your music faced a wider audience over the years. How did you manage? What did it change in your way of producing or just DJing? Like, did you stay in your roots, in what you really like, or did you try to adapt your music style to what people like?
This is such a good question. That is a great question. So I had been just a shitty dirtbag Midwest raver who was touring, but you know what I mean. Like, and then COVID came, and I was doing some remixes for people. I had done a remix for Dua Lipa, but even then I just wrote it. I was like, what would Masters at Work do? You know, it was very much like I wasn't even aware enough of what a pop dance remix would be like to try to do one. And so COVID came and everybody had to figure out what to do. And she reached out and was like, I want to do a whole new version of my album that's dropping in the middle of the... I was like, wow, we can do that. But none of us could leave our houses. And I was very suddenly dumped into a world. I did not know what Stan Twitter was until I was on it. Them kids are ruthless. I thought Chicago house music was bad. Those children came for me. I was memed to death. I was like, what is this? I mean, I was sitting in my house. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But then off the back of that, once I survived that, once I made 4 trillion 16-year-olds listen to The Percolator on a Dua Lipa record, Warner Brothers was crazy enough to offer me the chance to come back and do it again myself. And I really did not know. I was making more, I was sliding into really writing, like proper writing, like on His Voice I Hear, I did all the string arrangements myself, all that stuff. Like, I very much was one note at a time. I'm drawing things in. I can't play anything very well. But I just said, oh yeah, I can make an album, no problem. I have any fucking idea what I was doing. And they were like, oh, well, okay, these demos are great. Let's just get a couple more tracks in and then, you know, go in the studio for a little while, put you in a studio. And this is just, we're still basically in lockdown. 3 years later, they had just, you know, put me in a studio and would just send people over. And over that time, I learned to like write all kinds of songs, and you'll see more of that soon. But that said, a very, very important lesson I learned is to not for 1 second think like there's an A&R in the room with you. Like you cannot think about what might be good on the radio, because I tell you, I would not know. It would never be that Fred Again song that is a phone call during lockdown has like 1 billion plays. At this point in time, I would like to remind everybody that Fred was like a 20-year-old in his house. Like, he was not famous. And it's like, hey, I just wanted to do a thing that, you know, I like to stand up. I knew him real well. Like, I'd never even, he's like, I just want to get your thoughts on these. Like, you're a good talker. You know, do a thing. You never know what's going to happen. You cannot think like that. You just can't. Nobody knows anything. you could have 3,000 A&Rs. Half of them worked at SoundCloud a week ago. Like, who fucking knows? You just have to go in and try to make a great record. And when it clicks, it clicks. And it's clicked a few times for me. And there's records that I thought were going to click that nobody gave a shit about. And I don't know, don't think about anybody. Don't think about money. And I have a rule in my studio. The second somebody starts like coming in trying to write whatever and they're talking about, oh, I think we could get a hit or this is going to be on brand for this. Very quietly, I'll be like, I think we're good here for today.
It kills the vibe.
I'm not over it. Like, or I am over it. Like, I don't want to live that way. Like, that's just sad. It's sad. I've been poor before. I can do it again.
I think it's a very good answer to your question, Guillaume. Merci.
Merci.
I'll
Merci
take
beaucoup.
Another question in a few minutes. I'll see you.
Next victim.
But I think on the idea of authenticity and the love of music has to be authentic. I'd like to...
So I'm told.
No, I think it's about community and sisterhood, you know?
Yes.
Those ideas
I do believe that. I do.
Those are common grounds. And maybe, Paloma, on that note, you could tell us about Réinventer la nuit, which means in English...
Reinvent the night.
Let's go, reinvent the night.
I knew what it meant.
And can you tell us more about this project? Because I
Sure.
think it resonates a lot with this idea of mindfulness about our art.
Yeah, sure. So it was in June 2023 that I made this Instagram post because I was really fed up about being harassed as a woman DJ when working, because I'm actually working. And so I made this post, and actually it resonated a lot. Many people from the French scene shared it or liked it, and etc. So I had all these discussions because I didn't want just to say something, but also to do something out of that. So I had a lot of discussions with friends into the music scene, so DJs and promoters and all that. And so we were like, what can we do so it changes? And we put together many like 3 associations and DJs. So consentis, I can't
About
translate
consent.
that consent.
About consent in the party scene.
I understand you.
Cool.
My spoken French is poor, but I will know what you're
Cool.
saying. You're good.
And au-delà du club. And so together we were like, first we need to make a statement about what we want for the scene. And so we made this manifesto, and then we made some actions. So one of the first action was to actually put together talking and listening circles for professional who are gender minorities, so they can address. It's with a psychologue from the Association Consentis, and so we can address all these topics together, and so we are not alone in those problems that we can face. So we did that, and also like safety riders, that I think is an actual lack really. So actually you can share it so to the promoter, and you're like, if me or my team face any kind of sexist or racist aggression, I'm just gonna stop the music. And so they have to sign it. And so we did that, and we are like now we're an actual association. We have a legal status and all that, and it just empowers us and hopefully all the people around us, just not to subir, comment on dit, not to like face something without being able to do something about it.
Yeah,
So,
for so many years there was no
nothing.
kind of recourse. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
it's so different now. And I have when I get my offers, the diversity of the event is, it'll say in the paperwork, it says, please consider the diversity of this event. And that's something that just quietly goes on behind the scenes. You may not, I won't issue a press release about it. It'll just be normal. But a lot of the things you're saying, when I worked at Smart Bar, which is America or the world's oldest underground dance club.
In Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah. It was really fascinating over even like the last 10 years to watch the club figure out how to respond to like cultural changes and even problems, things that happened that were not good. And we had Aristrue was a resident, and she transitioned while she was a resident at Smart Bar, and that was the catalyst for us changing how bathrooms worked. And it wasn't easy. Like, it wasn't overnight that every security guard got it. So you have these things where people run up against stuff. And I think the thing to remember is that you're going to make a million mistakes. Even people who are trying to do the right thing are going to mess up. There were so many things that I didn't know that I learned, sometimes the nice way and sometimes the not nice way. I've been yelled at and I've yelled at people, and we all live to tell the tale. But there were things about just to see the club, even this, especially the security staff. And also I have walked away from things because they would not take into consideration the safety. I will not say which one, but there was a very famous club that wanted me to do a residency there. And I had been there for a night recently, and the security had actually kind of been a little handsy with my husband. They reached around his neck to grab his wrist to look for the man, and this was like, my husband is not like, he's my height, Ukrainian Jew. Like, he's not, this is like a big no-neck security brute. And what would we have done? And so, when I was talking to them, they wanted me to come and do a thing. And I said, I will do it, but we need to talk with the whole security staff. And there's a woman that travels with me a lot named Diana Arce, and she's an anti-racism arts educator, but she's also just my best friend. And she has this company called White Guilt Cleanup, which basically deals with white people fucking up, which is a large market.
Daily job.
Endless clientele, but she does stuff like does training for security and things like that, does like sensitivity training. And we talked about it, and I was like, I said, I would like to do this, but it's a big ass club. And I said, this was me and my husband and whoever, but if you all had laid hands on like Honey Dijon like that, it would have been an international incident, and I'm not going to sign my name to that. Like, I need to know how you're going to handle things. And ultimately I walked away from it. And I, no shade, but just one for me.
No shade. Thank you for making the world a better place. And I think it's throughout action, even at our small level, with collectives, with individual means of persuasion sometimes, with the good surroundings.
I have terrible news for you, though. The bad news about doing the right thing is that nobody's ever going to know and you're not going to get paid for it. You're just going to keep doing it, and there's nobody's ever going to give you a gold star. You're just going to like have to keep it in you with you and know who you are.
It's gonna make you. I think I'm gonna come back on that idea of what you find without searching for it. When you give some of your time, some of your precious time, because we all have complicated lives, you know, especially as precarious artists. So when you give some of your time to Réinventer la nuit, collective 50-50, any collective association that wants to change the scene, change the cultural scene, it makes you a better artist, a better person. It gives you tools to respect yourself, to make you, to make other people respect you. I think it's for free, but it gives you so much that I encourage every single one of you to join an anti-racist, feminist, progressist collective if you can, if you want to create your own, if you want to join a structure that already exists.
And you may join it and it may be the most annoying thing in the world.
Absolutely. But in a few years...
And that's fine. You'll get something out of it and you will help one person or whatever. These things, they rise and fall, but you can't... it's always the right time to do the right thing.
Especially in those times.
In those times,
it's
those difficult
like
times for
so important to do something.
Inclusion, for sustainability, for environmental problem. Let's go. I think you'll find yourself. I want to give a lot of advice today. 13 minutes left. I have a question in the public. 2. C'est bien. Alors, can I keep a bit like 7 minutes for us still, and then I'll bring you all on the couch with me, okay? Because I want to address something that I brought a bit during our interview, is the idea of a vision of music as a psychedelic universe. And you know, and
Go on.
And I'm not even talking about drugs. I'm talking about witchcraft, actually.
Oh, I'm in all the way.
Exactly. So I was sure that
I'm in
Maria
too.
is a powerful witch. I'm sure that Paloma Colombe is a powerful witch. I'm a witch.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm an evil one.
I spotted you a mile away, honey.
And I want to address this idea of making the world a better place through out of practice, and especially the idea of healing through music. Maybe that we had a bit of a conversation.
I was hoping we were going to talk about curses.
That works too. but I'm into, you know, we want to try to make the world a better place. So maybe I want to develop that idea of the party and the club as a very strong transformative force, and to address those moments in our life that changes our perspective, whether it be a track that changes our life, or a 7-hour set. Did you ever reach a trance kind of mind, like alignment of body and soul?
Oh, absolutely. I could give you a million examples. The one that I can think of that, and I've talked about it before, but there was a party called Spastic in Detroit in the Packard plant in 1994. This is right when Richie Houghton became Plastic Man. He used to be Robot Man, and the name was Plastic Man. He was Richie Rich. Anyways, so this is right when Spastic came out, and he was going to do his first live performance ever. And I used to sell mixtapes and t-shirts for a living, and we made his first merch, these sort of press-on psychedelic shirts. And we all went to Detroit, and to enter, you had to go through this black plastic maze. Like, you had to find your way in. And then there were 2 major rooms. One was whatever it was, and one was pitch black except for one green laser. And then Rich came on, and he performed part of what was sheet 1 and part of what would be music. And then he DJ'd for a really long time afterwards. And we had go with me. back to 1994, where if you didn't have a watch, you didn't know what time it was. And if you didn't have one that lit up, you couldn't see it. So we're in there for I don't know how long, and Rich had been playing for so long. And it was just an incredible DJ set. And the Packard plant is where they used to make these cars called Packards. They don't exist anymore. But it's this legendary warehouse where you could kind of rent it and throw illegal parties. And then it was whatever time it was, close to the end of when Rich was DJing, and all of a sudden they threw open this bay door behind him. You didn't realize that the wall was actually a door, and the sun just filled this room with like, I don't even know how many, like 2,000 of us. And we had been in there so long, and it was so beautiful. Like I've told him this story 1,000 times because it was just so meaningful for me, and I will carry that day in my heart forever. And anyone that was there, like if you were there, you know, I was just a kid, but it was like, it was so moving to me.
The power of party and memories and joy.
Yeah.
Paloma, you want to rebound?
Yeah, I have another story like that. In San Francisco, so this is where I discovered like what really clubbing was about. And one time we went with my friends in LA, and it was Harvey Sarcastic Disco. And it was all night long by DJ Harvey.
He's a bad man.
Oh, really?
I love him.
Yeah. And he finished his set with Fly Away, which is an amazing track. And it was such an amazing journey, and it was 100% spiritual experience for me. So I got tattooed right after with Fly Away. Like, yeah, it was like so.
I love that.
Yeah. And yeah, that's, I think, is my first like spiritual club experience, and the first of a
Harvey
long
really
series.
understands that, the long form thing.
Yeah,
He's
something.
really good at that. It's a really particular art, and the people who can do it are really good at it. I'm about to find out if I'm still good at it on Sunday. We'll find out. But at one point I was good at it. I don't know. It's been a while.
Is doing those 6-hour sets by themselves, and you know what? Talking with you today, this is what I'm more than 40 years old now. I want to do that now. I want to try a 6-hour set. I want to.
Yeah.
One time they when in Berghain, when it closes, they usually push people down and out. One time on Leap Day on February 29th, they did it the other way around and had me do the long set, which I was totally unprepared for. They were like, theoretically, how long can you play? And I was like, as long as you say, I guess. And I ended up playing for like 9 hours or whatever it was. I was wearing jeans. Do not do this. I'm going to tell you a secret. This is awful to admit, but I literally danced my own ass off. I was like, when it stopped, I was like, why does my butt hurt? And they have this little bathroom off to the side, and I went and I jumped up on a mop sink to look and see why my butt hurt. And the jeans had rubbed the skin off my entire ass. And there was a hose for the mop, and I was just sitting there with the hose on my butt. I walk out. My husband's like, why are you limping? I was like, I'll show you in the hotel room. I just sleep on a towel. Don't wear jeans if you're going to play a 9 hours.
Transcendental experience.
Best day of my life, though.
It was at the Panorama. It was up.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, and again with the sunlight coming in the room.
Oh well, but they shut the blinds when they pushed everybody up. They had already opened the blinds to when you're to leave, but they shut them again, and it was like it was night. And actually, my song "Edge of Saturday Night" is about that day. start again, shut the blinds. Yep,
Thank
it's
you
about
so
that one
much.
day.
Thank
Never
you for those
forget it.
memories. Guys, 5 minutes left. I have 2 questions in the public. Guys, follow-ups. Come on the couch. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna push. Come on. I really want a woman. I really want a woman to ask a question, even though.
Well, just come over here.
If
Just
I
pull a
come,
chair
we have a
over.
lot of room.
You can sit on my lap.
We have a lot of room. We're gonna
We're all
make
friends
it.
here.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make the most possible time happen. C'est toi qui
Come
commence.
over here, baby. You're good. Oh, y'all got small butts. This is working. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I
All right.
I love this. Oh, y'all are so cute. Look at y'all. Okay.
Should I start?
Yes.
So I wrote my question down because I was afraid I would forget it. But it's a pretty basic question, and I'm sure you've answered it like 1,000 times. But was there like a specific moment, like when you realized that like this is it and I can actually like make a living out of this?
For sure. I had a number in my head of how much money I would have to have it in the bank account. And I was working at Smart Bar. I was the talent buyer. And I had to go to my boss at Smart Bar, who was like my father, and say to him, this thing that I've worked for my whole life is happening. And I'm so sorry. I think I have to leave. And he was like, don't worry, we're not breaking up. And you always have a job here. It's always home. And that was absolutely true. And I've still got keys to the building. But yeah, that was when I went to England for a 13-week residency, and I didn't leave, and everything happened so fast. I mean, it was just like boom, boom, boom. And I'd been trying so hard for so long. But yeah, there was a number in my head which sounded like more money than I would ever possibly ever have in my life. And yeah.
Okay.
Allez, on enchaîne parce qu'on n'a plus beaucoup de temps. Let's go.
So I would like to ask you if you have like kind of some milestones in your career. Like sometimes like you just think about it and you say, yeah, I wanted to achieve that.
Oh, yeah.
And I've done it.
So I keep Post-it notes. I have magic Post-it notes. But before I was working at Smart Bar, or when I was DJing all, nobody would book me for anything. When I was at work, I wrote down everything I wanted to do. I was like, okay, I want to be on Beats in Space, and I want to go work in Smart Bar, and it just said Beats in Space, Smart Bar, Panorama Bar, blah, blah. And I had this magic Post-it note, and then eventually I crossed it all off, and I have it saved in a photo album. And then there was a second one. I've crossed all those off, and now there's a third one. And it's all the artists that I wanted to work with and record on my album. And I got most of them. But I'm chasing one down in America. She doesn't know I'm coming for her. I'm not going to say. It'll curse it. But I'm going to get her.
So you talked about not having a mentor when you started. So now that you are here with us, I would like to ask you, what do you wish you were told or you knew when you just started your activity?
Don't read the comments. That part was so hard for me. I cannot stress this enough. Like, I had to go into therapy for that. People say it's just the internet or whatever. It is not just the internet. It is your whole life. You know, and I don't want to be the kind of person that doesn't have a tender heart. Like, I don't want to be that way. Like, I am sensitive, and I don't want to be a person that doesn't feel things. But I wish that there's a lot of people I would have stopped talking to earlier. And there was a big change for me. Like, when I started touring, I mean, it was crazy. Like, there were people that would who had been in my house, who I had cooked for, who had slept on my couch, that would make fake profiles on Resident Advisor to dog me in the comments. And I'm like, dog, you were at Christmas. Like, that really happened to me. And there was stuff like that. Or people would not realize I was in a private group and would just tell some outrageous lie like a whole made up story about something that had happened. And I was totally unprepared for that. Like the day that I got Mixed Mag DJ of the Year, when I tell you that people that were I thought were my friends, were like making Photoshop memes of me on Facebook, it was so painful. Like women, and it was women. Way worse than men. The women fucking ate me up. And I was like, I played your party. Like, why did you book me if you hate me? And I mean, it sounds naive now, but that part was so hard. And I can't give you any real good advice about it other than it's okay. And when you feel the way that you feel, and also every time you do something that you care about and that is really truly of value, those people will get louder and turn it from whatever they think it is into applause, because that is all it is. It is just, that is why they call it self-esteem and not everybody else's esteem. And I think it's important to be vulnerable about how hard, I mean, really painful stuff. But I came through the other side of it, and like, I know who I am, so you can't bully me. It's not possible. And that wasn't true 10 years ago, but it is now. I'm like, what are you gonna do? You call me fat? What are you gonna do? Tell me you don't like the way I mix? Or I said something wrong, or I farted in a car in 1994. Like, I've heard it all. Like, what are you gonna tell me? Like, I've gotten death threats. You're like, that part is gone. I do not care anymore. It has been burned out of me. And it sucks that it was like that, but it kind of rocks now, because I'm like, I know who I am. And you will too. Thank you. It'll take a minute though.
Last question.
So you talked about 7-hour sets.
Yeah.
Right now, when you have the opportunity to play in a club or something, it's 1 hour top, sometimes 45 minutes.
Not for me.
But for me,
Okay, for you.
For us as a young.
That's how the Midwest raves were. Everybody got an hour.
You feel like maybe you have to perform, not the time to connect with the public or with this music.
I think there's a special thing about having a really quick time limit. If you go back, and I will urge you to, most of these mixtapes are now online, like Paul Johnson, Terry Mullen, Hyperactive, those like Midwest DJs that were really popular and are that still are around. Everything is fast, and it's good fast. Like you never get lost. Like Paul Johnson. There's this moment, I can just hear it in this mix that he did, where he just goes straight from some house record into the beautiful second instrumental section of Dr. Love by First Choice. And I had never heard that, the long bit, and Paul just sails right in there. And then to get out of it, it's like 8 bars and he's on to the next. And it felt so like they're punchy and like quick. And I think that's a really good thing to learn how to do. I love hour-long sets. Like I'll wreck somebody's ass in an hour because we had to. And so it's just different tools. One thing's a hammer and one thing's a screwdriver, and hopefully you don't hammer yourself in the head. But those are all, it's just different levels on a video game. Somebody knows how to do it. Somebody's really good at an hour-long set.
Thank you.
You will be too.
Cheers. I invite to get back to your seats.
Okay, everybody go the fuck back.
No, because I'm going to close up because you're working a long night tonight, so I'm getting back my mic. and I really want you to be able to rest a bit also.
Happy. You and me both, sister.
You still
There
have a
is-
voice. You still have a voice, so
There-
I want to cherish that.
Yeah, there is a sleeping pill the size of a Big Mac waiting for me in my hotel room.
Exactly. So thank you so much for allowing yourself to play the game. I think it's a good vibe. I think
You're all
you're
great.
gonna make it happen.
You're all doing a great job.
Yeah, and it's for yourself. So good job.
And
Thank
you can
so
always
much.
DM me on Instagram. I do look at it.
Maria,
Yes,
it was a pleasure.
the
It
pleasure was all mine, my
it was
friend.
A delight. I
Yes.
said it already. It was an honor to have you here.
Oh, shush.
Paloma, thank you so much for joining the conversation.
Merci.
You know you're at home at Rinse France, so I think I'll see you soon. I hope we get the opportunity to have a second session, maybe, because I have a lot of things on my mind still that I haven't had the time to ask you.
I will clear one thing up. I don't have any guest list spots left for Panorama Bar on Sunday.
Don't worry, it can
I
be.
was waiting for somebody to ask.
I think we can meet again here tonight at the Dojo de Paris for the Red Bull Pack
Yes.
to be young, at the Rinse Radio, whenever you want when you come to Paris. But you live in London, so I'm not going to offer you to go to Rinse FM, but Rinse France is,
I mean, I will.
is always open to you. Maybe on another planet or another lifetime. I don't know, but I hope so.
Who knows what's happening?
You can find the replay of this interview on all of our platforms, YouTube, SoundCloud, our app, and our website, rinse.fr. Thank you so much to this very adored audience that listened to us with patience and attention. Thank you to the Red Bull team that made it happen effortlessly. Fabio Yazzetta, Anne-Charles Palmieri, Guillaume Sorge et Marie-Maxime Dricot. And to my production dream team, Guillaume Caston for the video, Paul Laverne, sound engineering, Manare Colli, Laurent Bassol, Raphaël Bertrand-Jaume, Aurélie Morera, big kiss from Paris to Stockholm. It was a delicate and smart journey we had together, bringing forward the talent, beauty, and intelligence of the Red Bull back to be on DJs. So, the Blessed Madonna, Bombounou, and Salute tonight, which is an amazing diverse lineup, I have to tell you.
It's going to be completely crazy.
I'm gonna be a hot mess.
And thank you all for coming. You all are so sweet to be here. And thank you all. I know how hard all the engineers work. And, you know, there's hardly a job I've not done in dance music. So I respect very much what all y'all did to have us here today. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you
grateful.
for your kindness, your generosity. I was with the Blessed Madonna. I was with Paloma Colombe. I'm your favorite evil daddy DJ. I'm the infamous DJ Monique Destruction at your service. Stay locked, restez verrouillés for more music, dance, love, friends, and party.
Thank you.
Merci à toutes les deux. Ce sera la